Due to the aim to boost the economy under the crisis environment, a decline in interest rate has become the trend for recent years. After the COVID-19 crisis strongly affected the New Zealand economy, the RBNZ lowered the official cash rate to an unconventional level of 0.25%. At this point, a negative OCR seems not that far from the future we can see. As one of the main approaches to adjusted monetary policy, lowering OCR is always the effective choice for RBNZ to stimulate the economy. A negative OCR does not necessarily mean most firms and households can get a negative rate when they go for deposit or borrowing. However, the OCR will indicate an extremely low level of retail interest rate to encourage people to borrow instead of saving.
As we mentioned earlier, this approach is unconventional, and the impacts will be strong on both positive and negative sides. The biggest advantage that negative OCR can bring is to encourage people to spend. When people realize that they have to pay for the fees for their deposits because of the negative OCR, the incentive of 7 will be lower than ever. In the market, there will be more expenditures and investments when the money injects to the market from the financial institutions. Industries will be expanded their production, and the new job opportunities are open to the citizens. The exchange rate will also drop to a much lower rate, which could boost exporting and increase the competitive power of local products.
However, to gain these benefits from negative OCR, our economy has to take significant risks and bear a high cost to the financial system. Such a low interest rate can hugely impair the profitability of the financial institutions. The policy will bring a great challenge to our current financial system, and the deposit function of the banks will become no longer reliable. Another challenge is towards the capital structure of banks. The amount of the credit funds will drop rapidly because of the strong encouragement. People with limited ability to pay back their loans will also become the clients. Therefore, the asset quality will also drop. On the other hand, our country already have a relatively low OCR rate of 1% right before the COVID-19 crisis. And to boost the economy, RBNZ lowered the OCR again this year to a significantly low level of 0.25%. Even if we want to make the move to a negative OCR, the effectiveness of the policy has already been impaired.
The countries with negative OCR, like Japan and European, also shows us an increasing social inequality and the difficulty to rise back OCR in the long-term future. Considering this heavy cost to the financial system and society, we have to admit that this approach was powerful but difficult to take. Furthermore, there are still other options for us, like quantitative easing, before we decide entering this unconventional territory. Unfortunately, there is still a great uncertainty in the current economic situation. But at least we hope that BRNZ doesn't have to introduce the negative OCR when there are still choices.